welcome to my channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Waldorf Inspired Roots, where we share our Waldorf inspired homeschool journey and family adventures. Today I'll be sharing with you my 15-year-old son's high school morning basket. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and say hello down in the comments. So this morning basket is my 15-year-old son's. He is in his freshman year of high school, and his morning basket he typically does for about an hour. Sometimes it'll take him a little bit more, but on average it takes him about an hour to complete it, and he does this during my 2.5-year-old son's and his friends, the kids that I watch, their outside time. They're outside for an hour in the morning, usually between about 9 and 10, and that's when my older son does his morning work. And the first thing that I'm going to show you is what's in his pencil box, and it is, this is his favorite type of pencil. It's a mechanical pencil, and it's by Clear Point. I believe it's 0.9 millimeter lead. And so we've got the extra lead and some extra erasers that go in there. And then he has his drawing pencils. He's doing a drawing class, and so he's got a few drawing pencils in here for a sketchbook, and then the sharpener, and then a ruler. And this is used sometimes for math, sometimes for drawing. It's just handy to have. And then we also have a date stamp. Now this is a new addition to his morning basket. I actually had another mom in a co-op that my son is in who shared this idea. Having your kid date stamp the page or pages that they do each day. That way, as I'm scanning through, it's easy to tell when it was done and make sure that he's doing things every day. We don't always get the opportunity to look at his work and review them and things that same day. We always make sure that we are able to review it at least once during the week or over the weekend. But having this in there helps me to know what he did on which day and make sure that he was doing his daily work every day. The first subject he has is the Writing Teacher's Activity a Day. They're 5-minute fundamentals. Everything in his morning basket are typically pretty quick things that are just to review and to enhance and build on what he already knows. So nothing in his morning basket other than his handwriting and his drawing are really new. Occasionally he'll run across something that he doesn't know or hasn't already done, but most of what are in these books are things that he's already learned, and he's just reviewing them or building on what he's already learned. So this is for grades 6 to 12, and it basically just goes through and has this is just how to do it, or how to use the book. There's a ton of different assignments going from adjectives and verbs and parts of speech, and how to brainstorm, how to put together a business letter, a comparison contrast essay. I mean, everything you could think of it has in here. Sentence variety, structure. So this is just an example of a lesson. So this particular lesson is about action verbs as a method of elaboration. It says action verbs are methods of elaboration, ways to help writers make a point in their writing, and then it gives an example. It has any side notes. This one in particular is talking about dashes and how they were used in this piece. And then it'll have, you know, 1 or 2 activities. The activities in here was to begin your writing with a topic sentence. So they're talking about a topic sentence, and to use at least 5 action verbs to make your point. After 5 minutes, pass your writing to a neighbor. In our case, he would bring it to me. And it says who will underline your action verbs and check to determine whether they were used as support for your topic sentence. Now, as I'm outside with the younger kids doing their outside time, he'll often bring me something and tell me, hey, this, you know, I need you to, you know, look at this for my assignment. And that's the whole assignment. So it's 5 to 10 minutes. Some of the subjects are a little more challenging for my son in particular. His biggest struggles are reading and writing more so than reading. And so this just kind of helps keep him going with it and keep him expanding his, you know, his abilities, but it's not so much that it's overwhelming. So, and this is also in addition to the other things that we do for writing. So this is just to make sure that he at least touches on each of these subjects that I am going to show you. It's just to make sure that he touches on a little bit of everything every day. And then the way that we work it, he does his morning basket, which is a little of everything. And then when the little kids are napping, which is typically around 12:30 until 2:30, so for 2 hours, that's when he's doing his core subject or subjects. So every day he has 1 or 2, usually 2 core subjects that he does that is in, you know, in greater detail, and it's an actual full, you know, lesson, versus this, which is just a little bit to keep him going with it every day. So that's that. And then we just have a lined notebook that he uses to, you know, date stamp it, and he puts the lesson and then whatever the assignment is. And that way he's not writing in this, and then I can use it in the future for my little one when he gets here, if we, you know, if that works for him. So it's really about what learning style works best for your kid. And I noticed that my 15-year-old gets very overwhelmed when he has large things to do. So he really enjoys doing one large lesson a day, and then having the rest of his lessons broken up into something that, as he looks at it, it's very manageable. So that is his writing. I think all of, I'll let you know which ones of these are not from Amazon, but most of these you can find on Amazon, and I will link them below. And so the next one is Daily Warm-Ups, World Geography and Cultures. This one is from Rainbow Resource, and this is level 2. And this is for, I believe, middle school up through high school. And this also is a 5 to 10 minute lesson. And so it kind of works the same way. It's this one in particular is just talking about using describing words. Their example is Europe is northeast of South America and southwest of Central Asia. So he had to get out his map. He has a map that he uses with this. He has one of the United States, and he also has one of the world. And then if there's any other specific countries or anything that he needs a map of that specific, then we usually will look it up on or print one out from the internet. So this just goes through Africa is, Southwest Asia is, North America is, East Asia is, and he had to give the description of from anywhere to, to where it is. It goes through some maps, and I'll just kind of flip through for the rest of it, but it talks about, longitude, latitude, and just kind of very broad range of things within geography and cultures. And again, it's just to kind of refresh his memory or teach him little bits of new things, but to keep him current and whatnot for that. And again, we use a composition notebook for, for that. And the next one is the grammar teacher's activity a day. and this is from the same company as the writing teachers. We really like this for his daily baskets. This is grades 5 to 12, and it is grammar. And they're 5 to 10 minute lessons once again. And this one in particular talks about nouns. He had to come up with different 4-letter list of nouns that begin with certain letters, and it's just things to get him thinking. And then, it goes into literally everything: pronouns, plural pronouns, adverbs, correlative, conjunction, coordinating conjunction, parts of speech, review, and he does one page or one lesson a day. Now, our school week, I will flip through this while I continue talking, but our school week is 4 days of this sort of work. On Wednesdays, we do something a little bit different. On Wednesdays, we have a co-op group, and our co-op group, every other week, we do science. And right now, this year, they're doing physical science. And then so that's every other week. And then the weeks in between, one week we do a field trip, and another week we do a game day. We used to do book club and history, read alouds and oral presentations. This year we changed it up a little bit. So that's what we do on Wednesday. And then after co-op, we go to a local small farm and help out, because our family are planning on moving. We currently live in the outskirts of Las Vegas, and we want to buy some land and begin homesteading. Right now we are thinking about Texas. We're planning to go to Texas in June to kind of scope things out and see if that's where we want to be, but we want to buy some land and begin homesteading. So, and I will for sure take you guys along on that adventure as things pan out. But in the meantime, the next subject is the reading teacher's word a day. Again, it's the same company as the writing and grammar. So all of his language arts are these activity a days. And it's set up the same way, and I'll just kind of flip through. We've got, so this one is set up to where they have a word and they talk about the root, where it comes from, what the endings mean, and it has a main word, and then it has some other words that are similar or have the same root, and then it has an activity that they have to do. And that's how it is throughout the entire, I'll just kind of flip through a little bit. That's how it is throughout the entire thing. So they're just building on vocabulary. Sorry if you hear noise in the background, my dogs are playing. So that's that one. The next one that we have, he is doing handwriting. Now, he did public school from kindergarten until 5th grade, and then he went, we pulled him because he had an injury happen, and he had to have a major surgery. So we pulled him, and then he wanted to go back in 6th grade. So we went back for a little bit, and then he decided he really didn't like it, and we pulled him again, and we've been homeschooling for good ever since. He's currently in 9th grade. So, but in public school, they never learned cursive, and my son really wanted to learn cursive. So we are using the Good and the Beautiful curriculum for handwriting. He's currently in level 6. And he's been doing this for a couple years now, trying to improve his handwriting. And this is something he chose that he really wanted to do. Next year, I believe his last handwriting, unit or whatever. And so some of it is standard and some of it is cursive. It depends on what they're doing, but this one gets more in depth as far as writing verses and quotes and phrases and things like that. They even have touch on some geography. They have a little bit of drawing in here to help with their muscles and coordination and things for handwriting. And so he's working through this. And like I said, next year he'll be doing level 7. And then I think that's it for handwriting. Now, we found the Good and the Beautiful because the co-op we are currently part of was using the Good and the Beautiful's curriculum. They personally use the curriculum for history, and we did science units from it. We would do usually two, one that would span the entire fall and then one that would span the entire spring. And so they would get through two of their units every year. Now this year we are doing something different for my son's science. And so with the co-op we're doing friendly physical science, and then on his own we've been doing friendly biology with a lab. So this handwriting is the Good and the Beautiful, and next year he's actually doing one of the units that he decided he wanted to do kind of as an elective from their science, and so he'll be doing that again. And I will actually do a full 10th grade curriculum choice video to share with you guys what curriculum he is going to be doing and what electives he chose for next year. Now, the next thing in his morning basket, though, is also by the Good and the Beautiful, and it is their level 2 Draw Vintage Images. He started with level 2. It's pretty basic, but they didn't really do any sort of arts in his school. It was very minimal to none. And he just kind of thought that he just didn't like art or any aspect of the arts. And so I really wanted to get him into anything artistic. I didn't care what it was. I let him choose. And so he decided he would try out drawing, and he has found that he really loves it. And so we got the next couple levels, and he'll probably get through more than one next year. And then we also got a few other books that he can pick and choose what he wants to draw. So and this was the PDF version. You can also get the one that comes in a book that is sent to you like this. For this, we chose the PDF and we printed it, but this is the entire book. And so it's fairly small. And I think there's one lesson per page. And then I'll just kind of show you the content page. It has a clock, an airplane, baskets of apples, a camping lantern, candelabra, several different cars, several antique clocks, lanterns, some fruit, and a whole array of things actually. And I'll just kind of flip through some of the pages so that you can kind of see, what he was supposed to draw. And then I'll show you some of his work in his sketchbook. So this is just some of the things that he has been working on. So very basic. I think that this would be a good level to start even with younger kids. It is very basic. And so that's the book, and then here's his sketchbook. That way I can show you some of his work. So it started with some very basic things. Some of the art that's in here is actually from his handwriting book. He drew it in here instead of in the workbook. And so I think this was a manga book that he was drawing from. And so this is just a little bit of his personal work. And as you can see, it's getting better and better. And he's really starting to feel more confident that he can do this. And he's building his confidence that, he can learn this in general. So, and that's really all I wanted, is just for him to try and find something that he can do to pass the time, that he can find some passion. Oh, this was for another project. He used this to do some hieroglyphics for a history assignment he was doing. And go. So there's those. And he'll keep working on that, like I said, until next year. Now the last thing in his basket, he is 15. He just turned 15. So in, I believe, July or June or July, he will be able to get his permit, which is terrifying. But we have this driver's handbook. We printed it out for him, and he goes through and he reads a little bit every day just to kind of familiarize himself so that he can feel ready. He is going to be starting a driver's ed online class coming up, but for now he is just reading the driver's handbook to kind of get to know some of the laws and things before he ventures into that territory. So that's all of the things that are in his basket. And like I was saying earlier, I can go through and I'm going to do a video that is going to talk about what is in store for him for next year, what he's going to be doing, what curriculum we chose, and things for 10th grade. And so if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to know any more about our day or schedules or anything, I can go into some more videos with some of those things as well. Just let me know down in the comments if there's any sort of questions you have or any things that you'd like to see or talk about. And thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and say hello down in the comments. Share, subscribe, and hope to see you next time.